coordination, project report to Department of Health, 60, 90, and 100% design and permitting, reservoir transmission main field survey and preliminary alignment, county right-of-way permit, 100% final plans, specs, and opinion of costs and bidding services. The recommended action this evening, authorize the mayor to sign the Wallace Engineering PSA for the Zone 4 reservoir water improvements, Phase 2, when it becomes available.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to authorize the mayor to sign the Wallace Engineering Professional Services Agreement for the Zone 4 Reservoir Water Improvements Phase 2. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And Mr. Evers, Agenda Bill 5610, the Supplemental Professional Services Agreement Number 4 from Wallace for the Number 4 Force Main Improvements.
Thank you. This SPSA is being submitted to enable Wallace to continue to provide assistance to the city and legal counsel on claim issues which have developed on this specific project. Wallace will continue to provide support to the city and their attorneys and perform the contract closeout task upon resolution of the claim. The original PSA did not provide for these services. Wallace is being asked to provide this mediation claim action. The recommended action, authorize the mayor to sign the Wallace Engineering Supplemental PSA for Number 4 Force Main when it becomes available through approval of the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I would move to authorize the mayor to sign the Wallace Engineering Supplemental Professional Services Agreement Number 4 for the Number 4 Force Main project when it becomes available through the approval of the consent agenda.
Second?
I've got a motion and a second to authorize the mayor to sign the Wallace Engineering Supplemental Professional Services Agreement Number 4 for the Number 4 Force Main. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And Mr. Evers, the Agenda Bill 5710, the Supplemental Professional Services Agreement for Wallace Engineering on the W Street Waterline Improvements Project.
Thank you. Staff's main supplemental PSA Number 2 for W Street Waterline Improvements. Project completion date in the original PSA under Section 3. Time of performance is being extended from June 30th, 2010 to December 30th, 2010. Since the execution of the original PSA, ownership interest in the land impacted by this project has changed hands. And as the property owners and finance company that control the property have shown little interest in reestablishing the HOA, Homeowners Association, necessary to finish the platting process, the city is moving forward with a new water line alignment, which is within existing right-of-way. Recommended action, authorize the mayor to sign the Wallace Engineering Supplemental PSA Number 2, the W Street Waterline Improvements Project, when it becomes available through approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second?
Got a motion and a second to authorize the mayor to sign the Wallace Engineering Supplemental Professional Services Agreement Number 2 for the W Street Waterline Improvements Project. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And Mr. Evers, Agenda Bill 5810, the extension to the interlocal agreement between Clark County and the City of Washougal for the Watley Pit Recycling Facility.
Thank you. Staff is requesting approval from council to allow the mayor to sign an annual extension to the interlocal agreement with Clark County associated with the use of Watley Pit Recycling. In March 06, the city entered into an interlocal with Clark County to dispose of street sweepings at the Watley Pit Regional Recycling Facility. Clark County is submitting an extension that will permit the city to continue to access this facility until December 31, 2010. The county will invoice the city every January for $3,450, and there will be no interest assessed on any of the payments. This expenditure was accounted for in the 2010 budget. It was also asked for additional analysis what the city is going to do specifically with street sweepings when this interlocal agreement is no longer available. At this point, without a full-blown decant facility specifically for street sweepings, we would be able to stockpile at our operations center and haul to the transfer station within the Port of Camas-Washougal, which is fairly short hauls, but still would be more expensive than the interlocal agreement currently with Clark County, where we utilize the City of Camas's dump bins and then we co-haul over to Watley Pit in Vancouver.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign the Watley Pit Recycling Facility Agreement extension when it becomes available.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to authorize the mayor to sign the facilities agreement extension for Watley Pit.
Mr. Mayor.
Mike?
So to follow up on that, further information that was given to us, is the yearly $3,450, so if I understand correctly, what you're saying is that, that for us to stockpile and then haul, that would be more expensive than the charge of $3,450 per year. Is that about right?
If we were not to utilize Watley Pit, we would decant at our operations center, 2201 C Street, and then haul to the transfer station within the Port of Kamas-Washougal. And based on tonnage, it wouldn't come anywhere close to the $3,450 annually.
Do you know how much it would be approximately?
I could get the tonnage reports. We have to do that for our MPDS Phase 2 and run the numbers. I would say off the top of my head, and I want to give you accurate numbers, it'd probably be at least three times that.
Okay. The thing that I wanted to point out is, for the benefit of the fellow council members as well as the public, the $3,450 per year, if I understand correctly, is only half the charge. Because this is being financed over 10 years, it's a 5-year agreement. So when the agreement runs out at the end of the 5 years, which is coming up, what, next year, I think? At that point, we'll still have 5 years of paying the same rate. We'll be obligated to pay the same rate for the next 5 years, regardless of what solutions we have for any future street sweepings. So what's going to be facing us when we come up to budget time, just to put a mental note of it, I would believe, is in determining whether it's more cost-effective or more responsible, I should say, more responsible for us to pay this off so that when we have some new agreement, we're paying that agreement as we go versus having 5 years' worth of paying for this old agreement and whatever new agreement we have. And I would also urge, when we have future discussions about this, one thing that I think may be helpful is to think about the total cost per year if it were paid each year. So $6,900, yeah, versus whatever it would be for the tonnage that we would come up with on our own. Now, just laying that aside for a second, is there any hope that we could sign a new interlocal agreement or continue this process?
Yeah, they had an original estimate on what the capital cost was going to be for Watley Pit, and that the county was going to incur our share of that we split with Camas for the one box for decanting was the 34,000 and change, or 69 combined. So at that point, approaching the county, Carl Oman that runs the facility, to see how they're doing capacity-wise, I think is an option, viable option.
Okay.
Get a viable option even before I sign this one.
Yeah.
There's multiple other cities that utilize very similar interlocal agreements, specifically Battleground and Ridgefield.
And Mr. Mayor, under Section 4, the last sentence states, the city mayor is authorized to approve and execute 1-year extensions without further authorization from the city council. In the future, is this really necessary for us to approve this, or what's your take on that?
Probably not. Trevor's point is well taken, that given some of the recent actions back and forth with the council and things that come up, whether they be interlocal agreements, anything that has to do with financing, that type of stuff, he chose to go ahead and put it on the agenda and bring it forward so that we did it with full knowledge, so. I certainly don't disagree with that one.